And welcome back to Late Night Lately, the late night show. I'm your host, Chad White, and if you didn't know, this is the late night show for the website, cpluscomedy.com. Like I just said, it's a late night show. It's a website. Go there. It's episode 86. I've got a special little gift for you. It's called a monologue, and here we go. This week marked the first 1-year anniversary of President Donald Trump's second term in office, which means a paper gift. The audio listeners get nothing from this exchange. Citizens of Greenland and Denmark have been buying Make America Go Away hats as President Donald Trump doubled down on his threats to Greenland. And you'll never believe who was first in line. Again, you have to watch the videos. I'm not doing this for anybody but the video viewers. Or the social. Air Force One had to be rerouted after minor technical issues, and Trump was finally able to show off his Shatner impression. The gremlins, they're eating the plane. I was lying about the dog thing. This is real. We're really in the twilight zone, and Trump keeps surviving. French President Emmanuel Macron wore sunglasses during his speech at Davos Summit. He said he had an eye thing, but I really know it came from all those finger guns he's been slinging around. This is a media-heavy monologue. I'm so sorry. Vice President J.D. Vance and wife Usha are expecting their fourth child, and his mistress is pissed. Oh, the lips couch. After a year of threat... wait. Okay, hold on. This week, Trump repeatedly insisted Denmark's defenses in Greenland were ludicrous, saying, in Greenland, basically, their defense is 2 dog sleds. Do you know that? You know what their defense is? 2 dog sleds. He then launched into his latest 5 minutes. Have you seen Emmanuel Macron? He looks like French Tom Cruise. French guy? So stupid. What about this J.D. Vance guy? Going to IKEA with him is like going to the red light district with Donald Trump Jr. What else? Melania? What else? Word that. Nope, don't have it up yet. After a year of threats, the U.S. officially left the World Health Organization. It's like a woke reboot of the honeymooners. One of these days, Alice, one of these days, we're gonna go to a couples therapist to talk through our problems. Again, the U.S. withdrew from the World Health Organization after years of threats, with unpaid debts totaling roughly $278 million. The U.S. is like a bad tourist gallivanting through Europe who tells the front desk at every hotel they stay at, here's the room key. You might not want to go in there for a little bit. Air it out. It's destroyed, completely destroyed. Your toilets, your bidets, couldn't get a hold of either of them. Destroyed. And that's all the jokes I have for you. I hope you enjoyed it. It was good. It was very media heavy. I am so sorry when I was writing I spent all week writing those jokes. You'll never believe it. I did though. I did spend all week writing those jokes. It was very. I said I gotta get a handle on the jokes ahead of time. Am I vamping right now? So that I could open up my subscriptions and do the things that I was supposed to do before this episode started, but instead I was writing a bunch of jokes. Am I doing that right now? No, I'm not. I'm not doing that right now. I'm just doing the thing that we all know and care to do when it comes to this. All right, this week in late night. It's just another week. We're moving on forward. Getting ready for the Olympics. I believe Jimmy Fallon had another post-basketball episode. A couple of the late night hosts mentioned how the FCC is targeting them, and it's very true. And Jimmy Kimmel gave a nice... I'll talk about it in a second. He gave a nice explanation about the FCC to people who don't understand what the FCC is. This week on The Tonight Show, A$AP Rocky was the guest. Dr. Henry Louis Gates Jr. also was there. Walker Scoble Antonio Kareem performed stand-up. The Josh Hart appeared for a sketch. I don't know, say a sketch, I guess it was a game. Will Smith, Jennette McCurdy, and Josh Hart also sat down. The Lemonheads performed a couple of songs. Natalie Portman was there. Charlie Heaton was there. Anthony Anderson was there. Louis Tomlin, who just put out a new album. Did I listen to a little bit of it? I did listen to a single. And Nell Fisher was there. And Louis performed his song. On Late Night with Seth Meyers, there was all the closer looks. Sarah Silverman, Mark Strong. We got the Leave 'Em Alone guy. Billy Bob Thornton popped up wearing what I can only assume to be either a balaclava or a very thin beanie on his head, along with a barely on, it's like, I dare not say fedora, but it looks like a small Stetson, like a skinny Stetson, but it's probably a fedora and is a giant earring. Heidi Gardner was there as well. Molly Baz, the chef, was there to make a sandwich, and I guess promote a cookbook. Claire Foy, Bert Kreischer wearing a shirt, Sean Hayes, and friend of the show, Maria Taylor. You might say, how is she a friend of the show? Years ago, I sat down with a friend who was interviewing her, Maria Taylor, and I met Maria Taylor. No big deal, friend of the show. I'm allowed to say that. Rachel McAdams on Jimmy Kimmel Live. It was Rachel McAdams, Judd Apatow, the Temper Trap performed. Jackson White, Martin Short appeared. Mike Epps, the American Idol judges, which were Luke Bryan, Lionel Richie, and Carrie Underwood, were there. And Men at Work performed. This is the first week with less musical acts. It seems that Ed Sheeran was the last. No, last week was the first week with. Last week was the first week with the less musical acts. Where does this time go? I'm thinking because Kimmel's monologues are already pretty long. So I wonder where the time is going. Let's just pick an episode without a musical act. So the episode with Martin Short, he had a 15-minute monologue. And then Jackson White was the guest. There's 9-minute, 15-minute with Martin Short. So that's roughly 39. So there's episodes are just shorter, it seems like. It's like 41 minutes. I guess that makes sense. Okay. The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. I was looking at the title and I couldn't put words together. The Late Show had Stellan Scott. Nope, excuse me. I'm sorry. It scrolled down. Bernie Sanders, which was an episode I watched all the way through. I did have to do a lot of fast forwarding. Jessica Williams, Lucinda Williams performed. Jane Fonda, who when I saw Jane Fonda, I was like, she's looking good. Maria J. Stephen. Chance the Rapper performed, and he also sat down on the couch. And then on the Daily Show, there was no Stewart. Because there was no Monday episode, and everybody but the NBC shows took off. That's why there's less videos. I was like, why are there less videos? Josh Johnson hosted all week. He spoke to Artis Stevens and Simu Liu and Alexandra Stapleton. We had appearances from Jordan Klepper, Ronnie Chang, and Lewis Black. All right. That's all the things that happened in late night this week. Let's move on. Two very interesting things are going on. As I mentioned, the FCC thing where the chairman, Brendan Carr, whatever the hell his name is, he got to put these scissors back. It's just they're trying to get the equal opportunity or equal airtime thing. They're just trying to invoke a rule, quite frankly, unfairly. And now the gist of the rule is you have to give equal airtime to political party opponents. So if Bill Clinton appears on, I chose Bill Clinton because I wanted to do his Arsenio Hall. If Bill Clinton appears on Arsenio Hall now, not back then, but if Bill Clinton appears on his, I should have done a modern, let me do something new. If Kamala Harris appears on Jimmy Kimmel Live during her presidential run and they talked for 10 minutes, then he's got to do the same thing for Trump at some point during that. Yeah. And it just invoking this rule and trying to take it away and doing things. It's just, we know that these people are jagoffs and they continue to be that way. Anyway, another thing that happened was, this comes from Variety, written by Michael Schneider. Craig Ferguson, who's hosting Scrabble, was asked about his late night world. He said on that discussion, I really didn't watch late night television before I did it, and then I certainly didn't watch it while I was doing it, and then afterwards I don't really watch it. So it's not something I feel qualified to really either predict or comment on, to be honest. I mean, I did my thing, but I don't know what my thing was ever really part of that thing. Do you know what I mean? And if you just watch clips of Craig Ferguson's Late Late Show, his show, and I'll say this about Corden's Late Late Show too, they were just both outliers when it comes to what traditional late night is. You know, if you watch Carson, if you watch Conan, if you watch Fallon, Bill Maher, whatever, you're going to see roughly the same show. Whether or not for Fallon those shows have games, or for Conan those shows have sketches, it's all up to that interpretation of what that host is. But for Ferguson and Corden, and we're just going to focus on Ferguson now, Ferguson, his monologues were directed towards the audience, mostly because he was like two inches from the camera. He touched the camera. He spoke to people at home. They felt looser. Things were often broken on his show in the same way they were on Conan, but things were often broken on his show. And when guests came on, it felt like he wasn't interviewing them. It felt like he was talking to them. He spent a long time hosting that show, from 2005 to 2014. Now the show's done. He continues saying, that's not something I'm into. You only do 2 days in Shawshank, right? First day and last day. I'm very proud of that talk show I did. I'm really glad I did it. I think we hit the ball more often than we missed, but I don't feel I need to do it again. It would almost make it not as valuable as it is to me if I started doing it again. I think that's a great. Also, I don't think CBS Now would allow a lot of the things that he did. And I'm not saying that they were salacious or anything, but they wouldn't, and it would just be a smaller and weaker of a show. And finally, this comes from Alex Weprin at The Hollywood Reporter. What's late night in the TikTok era? Late night TV in the TikTok era? The Tonight Show finds a new formula. As I've stated before, when YouTube came about, Kimmel was the first host the show. Kimmel's show was the first show to really steer into that. And then Fallon took the ball and ran with it. And then Corden just took it into a new stratosphere. And it feels as though every single host or every single show since then has been trying to capture this, like, similar kinds of magic. At Midnight did really well. After Midnight did not. Stephen Colbert's Late Show is doing so well, and as much as I love watching Letterman's old stuff, it's for a certain group of older viewers who would not have known, who barely use YouTube now, and if they do, it's laden with ads, and it's probably they probably have some conspiracy videos over in their related videos. But now TikTok is the thing that people spend a lot of time on, so much so that vertical video, I spoke about this in Constitutionals yesterday, that it once, people used to be mad about it if you upload a video online and there's vertical video and people are like, oh, you couldn't turn the phone sideways. Now it's the only way people watch things. ESPN has a vertical section. Disney Plus is getting one. Netflix is getting one. New York Times has one. But as Weprin writes, so many people are tuning in on TikTok just for the Late Show. Particularly, it's the Late Show, the late night. Particularly for whatever Fallon's doing. And I notice when I try to go to TikTok to post a clip, and C Plus Comedy follows the Tonight Show and all the late night shows. For the Tonight Show, we're often getting just made for TikTok videos. There's a lot of people walking by my apartment right now. I'm trying to host a show, guys. He talks about how one video with Sabrina Carpenter. One video with Malala Yousafzai singing "Bees in the Trap" and him singing "What's Up" has 109 million views on TikTok. He'll text all day long. He saw this on TikTok. Or this was fun on Instagram. What if we did that? He's in it immensely, says Chris Miller, the showrunner of Tonight Show. It's very much like a back and forth conversation we're having when we have these guests on the show to make sure that we are putting together something that doesn't feel like we're just hopping on a trend. Adds Tonight Show supervising producer and head of digital, Nick Dyer. It's astounding to me how these things are put together. I mean, even still, when I see somebody put out a good TikTok, this is how you know I don't know much about TikTok. But when I see someone put out a good TikTok, that's at least the audio is like synced, like there's two different audios synced together, and there's all these different cuts. I can go, wow, yes, that is something. But this is a pivot that a lot of these shows, you can say, I can go on Tonight Show's YouTube channel and say, oh, these videos are fine, but they're not getting the most views that they used to get in comparison to Jimmy Kimmel show or Stephen Colbert's show. But what Fallon does really well is his interactivity with the audience. And even if you don't like his games, hey, that audience there is having a really good time. And that Boston thing that they recently did with Ben Affleck and Matt Damon, it's good. It's good interaction online, even if it is just people naming things in Boston with a Boston accent. And that was a part of the show. That's just a clip. So there's different trends. They want the monologue, they want comedy, they want all that stuff, but they also want to extend beyond that 11:35 time slot. I think once we see, I don't think this will ever happen, but once we start seeing digital exclusives like interviews, then that regular show is dead at that point. I don't know. But I don't think we'll ever see that. According to data provided by the show, video views across social platforms soared by 30% in 2025 to 16 billion, with the show now counting more than 114 million followers across its digital and social footprint. And that's something to brag about because, you know, if you are an artist, if you're a musical artist and you have a certain number of followers, the music publishers see that. People want to work with people who have a lot of followers. That's how, I was going to say that's how SNL hires its cast members. You know, that's one of my big issues with SNL. Don't hire these people who already have 10s and 20s and hundreds of thousands of followers. Hire the young comedians just like you used to. The Tonight Show team is ready to continue on with this late night thing, but they also are very interested in what online production, digital stuff has to offer, especially if it's short form and it doesn't mess with what the show already is. But I can't imagine doing this. It's too much work. All right, listen, if you like what you heard here, head to the website, cpluscomedy.com, where you can see me talk to famous people sometimes. If you want to see a video version of this show, go to youtube.com/cpluscomedy. Hold on. Where you can see a video version of the other shows that I do. LinkedIn Logs, which is the Jobs podcast, and The Constitutionals, which is the entertainment business news show. And you can watch video versions of the interviews under the interviews. Subscribe to those shows wherever you get your podcasts. Follow us on social media at cpluscomedy on Blue Sky, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. Me at Chad Blackwhite. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time. Bye.